Good morning, or whatever time you are finding this. There is a very soft depth that is present here, and I have a feeling that the way this message is going to move through is going to be a bit more slower paced and rich. It's like savoring the message. That's what Spirit's saying, is like, oh, and I heard savor this time right now. So things might be moving a lot slower in the 3D, where, and I just heard from Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, the like, what's her name? I think her name's Veronica, where she's like, but daddy, I want this. Like I think there's a part of you, like a very unruly child within you that is like really just desiring the next thing, the next thing. And I just hear like this part of you that has deepened into maturity that is saying like, but what do we have right now? What can we appreciate right now? Okay. There's a lot of different threads that have been coming up, but I'm going to read something to you all. And I'm trusting that this is finding the people that are really in this. I hear like internal unfurling. And they just showed me like a rose that has like the dual spiral happening. Like I see you spiraling inwards and things spiraling outwards. Like there is this really insane magnetism that is happening, and also like inner unraveling as well. So for those of you unaware, this is one of my favorite books. This is Consolations, the Solace and Nourishment and Underlying Meaning of Everyday Words. This is the first book. And I did some book divination, and this word came up, and it was very in tandem with a song that I'm going to share with you all as well. This word is longing. Longing is the transfiguration of aloneness, the defensiveless interior secret one core of a person receiving is overdue invitation from the moon, the stars, the night horizon, and the great tidal flows of life and love. Longing is the divine discontent, the unendurable present, finding a physical doorway to awe and discovery that frightens and emboldens, humiliates and beckons, makes us into pilgrim souls, and sets us on a road that the stars in the center of the body and then starts in the center of the body and then leads out, like an uncaring invitation, like a comet's tail. Felt like both an unrelenting ache and a tidal pull at one and at the same time, making us willing to give up our perfect house, our paid for home, and our accumulated belongings. Longing is felt through the lens and the ache of the body, magnifying and bringing the horizon close, as if the horizon were both a lifetime's journey away and living deep inside some unknown core, as if we were coming home to the beautifully familiar, condensed strangeness. In the longing and the possession of romantic love, it is as though the body has been loaned to somebody else, but then has been then from some remote place taken over the senses that we no longer know ourselves. Longing calls for a beautiful, grounded humiliation, the abasement of what we thought we were, and strangely giving up the central control while being granted new, watchful, I don't know this word. scintillating. Peripheral discrimination. The static, willful, central identity is pierced and wounded, violated and orphaned into our own future, as if it is set adrift on a tide, like Moses in his floating cradle, bumping along the reeds of the Nile, like a child lost in a panicked, moving crowd, and at times, like a creature stunned, gripped, and lifted by a passing hawk. Longing has its own secret, future destination, and its own seasonal emergence from within, a ripening from the core, a seed growing on its own bodies, in our own bodies, as if we are put into the relationship with an enormous distance inside us, leading back to some unknown origin and its own secret timing. Indifferent to our wills and gifted at the same time with an intimate sense of proximity to a lover, to a future, to a transformation, to a life we want for ourselves, to a beauty of the sky and the ground that surrounds us. Longing is nothing without a dangerous edge, which cuts and wounds us while setting us free and beckons us exactly because the human need to invite the right kind of peril. The foundational instinct that we were essentially to risk ourselves in the world, that we are a form of invitation to others and otherness, that we are meant to hazard ourselves for the right thing, for the right woman or man, for the son or daughter, for the right work, for a gift given against all the odds. In longing we move, and we are moving from a known but abstracted elsewhere to a beautiful, about to be reached someone, something, or somewhere we want to call our own. Longing, 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 which then led me into one of the song that I really love. What is it called? I have to find the lyrics. I know it by its cover. Comment down below if you're similar like that. Like, I memorize covers of songs, not the like names. It's called Here by Adjoin, Adjoin. Let's see if we can find lyrics here for us. Well, looks like it's gonna open here.
Same light.
It doesn't have lyrics, unless it basically talks about. I'll put the link down below. You guys should definitely give it a listen. It talks about the shape of longing being the same shape as receiving, like opening your hands, right? As if to reach out for the thing that you're longing for. You're reaching and inviting in exactly that. This reading is unfolding into this deeper depth of manifestation, of calling in what you want, what you desire. And it's in that waiting, it's in that wanting that you're able to see the gift of the present moment, of this waiting room. We're going to dive into this even deeper. And I know I've come to terms with the depth of my messages and that they are for a very specific group of you, and just honoring that. All right, tell me about this, spirit. The universe. Yeah. Definitely listen to that song. It's pretty transcendental. Transcend. I don't know. And then we have the Three of Flames. Like, there's movement that is coming into your life. You are holding the vision of the universe, of your desires, of these things that want to be made manifest through your experience. But there is something right now in the present moment that is being asked for your attention. Like, I see this bigger vision, this bigger picture, but again, this sort of like savoring the moment. What is that about, spirit? Okay. Interesting. Knight of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and Seven of Swords. We have the Queen of Swords at the bottom too. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys, and this deck doesn't have very traditional correlations with the cards. It's very deep and profound. And the Seven of Swords, traditionally, it's like, like this like sneaky energy, but this is about you like understanding matters of the mind. Only when experiences are stretched beyond the five senses can the perception of reality behind the transience of material forms be grasped. On the other side of limitation, which set the conditions for earthly existence, the individual consciousness can be experienced as a part of the universal consciousness. And this was already the threads that I was picking up, is essentially you are at a point in your life where your mind's limitations, or the like current, I'm seeing like a labyrinth inside your mind. You've gotten to, and now I'm seeing like Maze Runner, like you've gotten outside of the labyrinth of this game of limitation that you were put in, and now you're on the other side of it. Consciousness is an experience of spiritual reality, and it becomes in a sense of awareness, a bridge between spirit and matter. The impulses of the creative spirit manifest as the resonant fields of the higher reality, which are expressed in the levels of increasing density. The experience of higher levels of energy are bringing insight into fundamental process upon which the material appearances rest. Then the recognition of creative abilities is finally reached, which the individual creates his own reality. That's literally all I'm seeing with this. Wheel of Fortune, it's like things are shifting. What Spirit's saying with this reading specifically is that you are at this point where you are deeply recognizing that your thoughts create your reality. And I feel like a broken record saying this, but it's like really cutting through and making sense to you. Like this idea of like you're longing, you're reaching this desire, it's being met. And it's being noticed in like the little things right now, the little moments, the little nuances and subtle manifestations that have been coming in for you. And before this big turn of the wheel, like they're literally showing me like when you are, I heard, piloting your life, right? When you are, and it's like working I'm this kind of comparison has been coming a lot in the collective, which is that of like navigating a ship. Like there is the flow of the other like universal energy, right? The ocean, the wind, the storms, right? But you are like actively moving through whatever comes. And when you surrender to it too, I'm seeing like letting go of the like mast of the ship, and you're like, I'm gonna give it up to insert belief system here, whatever that is for you. It's like everything calms. I'm seeing like the water like calm and peace and ease. And then you realize that the storm was created by your discontent, that the storms in your life has always been because of these reaffirming your past beliefs, right? So if you grew up in a chaotic environment, you were always preparing for the worst. So in the preparation for the worst would come, right? And now you're in spaces where you're able to actually actively challenge this narrative and challenge this thought process, okay? And this mastery that's coming through to actually, right? Again, I feel like they just showed me like you on the middle of like a tightrope, like crossing into this new space. And it's terrifying because they're showing me like the tightrope isn't actually physically there. It's just your beliefs and trust in yourself that is getting you across this. And it's kind of a, I heard litmus test. For some of you, it's like this, and they're like the word test, it's a rite of passage, right? Because this gift and this power that comes with deeply understanding your mind and actually opening yourself to unlimited possibilities. Interesting. My little loading symbol next to my cursor was like loading. It's like Your reality is loading. And now I'm seeing like divergent tests, like from the show Divergent, right? Where you are divergent, right? And so whatever connects with that sort of thing. You are somebody who doesn't fit into one category, you fit into a multitude of categories. And your ability to master the mind, and it's in the like your mind is one of the greatest tools that you have here. Your mind, your body, your heart, all of these pieces are things that you are learning how to work with and not against. My eyes just went up to my vision board and the words, the mysterious magic. Where do we go from here? And that's the question. Okay. Spirit's showing me that they want to give you tools as you're in the midst of this in-between space. And they're like, these are tools you already have. It's just a reminder that you have them. Very clear. Okay. Tell me about this. Okay. We have masculine energy and past, present, and future. For me, this is speaking to like, I'm going to get one more. And growth. Okay. So you haven't taken a step forward. That's why. That's why the masculine, the masculine energy is coming forward. Is that you can draw upon your, right, past, present, future. Spirit's really connecting you into the fact that time is not linear and that you have access to all of your gifts at any moment that you need them. You may not in the moment have the capacity to hold all of it, but it's in these moments of like, I heard peril, right? I'm kind of seeing you at this moment of like, how do I move forward? You move forward. It's just taking the next step. What is that next step? And growth, yeah. For some of you, this is like putting yourself out there in different spaces, places, things. We have creativity and healing power. Yeah. This is you actually like, or like the reality that you want is like literally in the process of you actually doing the thing, of you actually, this card's flipped in here. Duality. Yeah. Oh, okay. This is what they're showing me. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. To move, they just gave me the key to you crossing into this energy. You're presently have just taken a left step, which is the feminine, and now it's time to take a right step, which is the masculine. And so now it's time to take action on something and then receive. Take action, then receive. Take action and then receive. Okay. And this action is you actually creating something, like starting the creation process. Very interesting. And I just keep hearing that song. I'll have it linked down below for you guys. Okay, we're gonna wrap up this message with some of my personal cards. This is from your future self on the other side of this liminal space. Okay, this card keeps popping out. By this autumn, whatever autumn is coming up, by autumn, this is going to, and that's why they're like, we need you to start now. Like, again, this masculine energy, like growing in your intuition, working with your intuition. Oh my God, there he is. This is literally the card that I was imagining in my mind's eye. That's you. Thanks for your future self. Okay. Right. Confirmation, I guess. I'm like, in winter. Okay. This is interesting. Okay, because I was like, why are they showing me again, that in between energy? There's a heavy emphasis on working with your seasons and understanding that you are not a machine, that you have cycles. With the moon coming out, your future self is saying, work with your cycles. This could be inner autumn, inner winter, and or actual autumn and actual winter. For me, this is really speaking to there being a massive shift from autumn to winter. What can you tell me what that is? Can we know? Because and they just straight up said that, like, no matter what, like, your preparation for it, you can try to prepare, but it's not. Okay. I heard the self that you know now will no longer exist. And it's okay to allow yourself to take a new shape and a new form. We have these cards. We have this sort of guy walking. We have the butterfly. We have my death and decay card, which this is kind of like mulch, like malting. And then we have this tear card, and then this union of self sort of card. I feel like it's a passing of the guard that is happening. Your future self is really indicating that this greater shift, the price to pay is leaving behind a version of you that you have known. And for some of you, especially if you're creators, yeah, it's gonna be real interesting. Because for some of you or people in your life, and that's coming up because I repotted some plants and Spirit said that this would come into play in a reading somehow. One plant is doing great and one is not. And that for me is this very clear sign and symbol that, like, some things are not going to be able to go forward with you. What is that? What cannot move forward? For some of you, it's a relationship, or a partnership that you are in. And or your old way of operating, your old way of masculine, like your masculine energy. Yeah. Your old way of relating to love and connection with another person, that has to be left behind for this new version of you to actually take form. This is just representing a divine masculine energy. That's my little cowboy guy. Because you've met yourself in very deep and profound ways, and I'm not entirely sure that you've been met outside of yourself in that same way with partnerships with people around you, whether you're in relationship or not. Okay, enough cards, they said. So, oh my gosh, I just really want to name that I feel this grand life that has been shown to you in visions, in that deep inner knowing, that deep longing, that like sensation. And right, again in the book, it said about longing, like there's sort of these inklings of like leaving behind things, right? The comfortability of certain things, like to go outside of yourself in ways that may not logically make sense. But that's the thing, is you are breaking through logic. You are breaking through to the higher echelon of your knowledge, in this time right now, in this transmutation phase. Like, you are understanding the power of your mind. And in the power of your mind, you are realizing that you are cultivating everything for your life step by step, and that what you want is met. And it's interesting because it's like I'm seeing as you're stepping, like whatever your desire is meeting that foot, right? Solid ground, a new terrain, a new experience, a new connection, a new um creative endeavor. And that your gift right now is this um working hand in hand with your masculine energy and your feminine energy, understanding your cycles, that even your masculine energy has a solar cycle as well. And that this growth that is being called forth within you is really allowing you to release the old and to grieve the old version of you, to actually I'm seeing somebody like phasing through like literally like your entire being like dissolving and then forming into something new. I think there's a part of me that feels like the sorrow of releasing this individual that may be in your life, and or a story around like love. And we have ascension at the bottom here, and death. For me, it's like having to let go of something so that you can receive more. Like at your emptiest point, you're recognizing your capacity, and you're through this like deep self journey that you are moving on right now. You are recognizing that you desire to be met at that depth, and that you are the one who is like only letting people in to a certain extent. And so, oof, and like it's not even like they might not, it's like, can you allow, if you're like, for some of you, if you're in partnership, can you allow that person to have their ascension, their death and rebirth, their ego? Can you see them like witness them through it, right? And or release the expectation of this being the end all be all, right? um it really is this entirely in Venus opposing Pluto presently. Like this really is this massive like reconfiguration on how you relate to love and connection with another. Like this is some deep, profound stuff. And last card to wrap up this reading, because there's so much more. This version of you that you're stepping into, yeah, we have abundance, the last card, right? And this kind of connects somehow to some of the reading that I posted the other day, where you are, yeah, and changes. Like your worth is changing, which means everything is changing. The love that you receive, the money that you draw in, the environments that you step into, everything is changing. And I just heard, right. And coming back to the start of this message, slowly, step by step. It's changing. This is not something that is happening overnight. This is like devotional change. I'm seeing somebody like peeling back layer by layer of themselves. And like, it's almost like I'm seeing you take parts of you, like almost if you could peel off like parts of your experience, and you're folding them up and like reverently putting them away, putting them to rest. Experiences, people, places, things, because you're making space for new. Okay, I'm going to leave this reading here. If you enjoyed my reading and or enjoy my content, liking, commenting, I would love to know how this is landing for you all. And additionally, for those of you who are looking to work deeper with me, all my offerings are offered down below. My number one thing is my natal chart reading. So if you're looking for that, I would love the honor to dive in for you. All right. I love you guys. Bye.